We really do see, stock options, at least the way that they're priced, looking at further gains when it comes to the Japanese equity rally. Why are you encouraged in terms of the direction, and what are the particular opportunities that you're seeing?
Well, there's not a huge amount of markets at the moment which are exuding these kind of momentum, and so I think it's very attractive from a momentum perspective. I think pullbacks will be, will picked up pretty quickly, but it's got a very strong technical and fundamental case behind it, and you can see that in the capital flows at the moment. There's been a lot of data that suggests significant inflows into Japanese equity funds and future funds, and that's still got some tailwinds. I think the world's catching on to this situation. I think obviously this sort of took back into April, when Warren Buffett went over to Tokyo and came back and said that he was buying Japanese stocks, and the world sort of picked up from that point. But we're just going into the tail end of the earnings season in the topics, and the capital going back to shareholders is very strong. Dividend payout ratios are increasing. I think they're about 14% higher than where we were this time last year. The Bank of Japan, for now, although we do expect a change probably from July, are still maintaining a very dovish bias, and that's very positive indeed. Earnings have been increasing relative to other jurisdictions, so there's a lot working for it at the moment from a technical and fundamental perspective, and I think pullbacks will be very nicely supported in this market. So we still like the case that's going on in Japan right now.
Yeah, it's interesting, of course, that renewed endorsement for Warren Buffett. You can clearly see the US inflows. We're seeing basically a case where American investors are dumping out of US stocks and getting into Japanese stocks instead. What about the company fundamentals? Are there sectors that you think are going to be, I guess, more have more longevity, even if the momentum pulls back a bit?
Not so much a bottom-up stock picker. I will say, if you look at the Japanese economy, I think I haven't read the Goldman's note myself, but I think a lot of the conjecture has been about the inwards earning capability of Japanese companies. Obviously, we know that capital management initiatives have been very strong, and the cash that they've been generating has been brought back to shareholders. But look, the Japanese economy's not growing to the same extent as some other DM countries, but it's on the rise, whereas other countries are pulling back. We like the tourism story. I think that looks pretty good at the moment. I think a lot of people have been focused on the capex story as well, and again, that increases growth above 1% later this year. So, I think. I like the Japanese market from a sort of a futures perspective, from an index perspective, than necessarily going into the individual sectors we do there. And again, momentum looks pretty good, as I say. But it's not just a yen story. We have seen the correlation between both the topics and the Nikkei and dollar yen increasing. The 20-day rolling correlation has picked up to about 65%, but it's on the increase at the moment. But look, if you price the Japanese markets in dollar terms as well, it's not just a yen story. We're seeing breakouts in all currency terms as well, and I think that's a very big positive from an index perspective, and that's what I look at that for.